Don't worry, this is not a normal video. This video is not about cello. This video is more of a podcast that I'm going to be talking, and I just happen to hold a cello. I've really been frustrated with YouTube because I'm like, what am I supposed to use YouTube for? I've been using it for forever, thousands of videos, and been deleted and started over, and just followed along with the silly things that are going on with the way that YouTube is managed and the problems that we're all facing with content creation and AI now, and YouTube banning people and shadow banning and copyright claims and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes I just have to play my cello, right? I'm learning a Bach piece. Bach is a Baroque composer from, I guess, the 1700s, Germany. And I'm learning how to play the cello, and I'm using Bach to teach me how to give me something to play, something that I can study. This is what the cello sounds like. And this is that piece. This is what I'm working on, and it's rough, but ooh, that's so hard right there. I'm going to try just that part. This is also my favorite part of it. So that's what my life is about, is just playing cello here at home while I take care of my mom. And that's my life. That's the meaning of my life, is to play the cello at home in the summer of Florida, where I can't go outside because it's just, why would you? It's hot and humid. But I think it's a profoundly different way of looking at life than a lot of people do. It's like, for me personally, that's me accepting what my life actually is. I'm 50 years old, started playing cello last year because I wanted something fun to do, something that I enjoy, something that makes me feel good about myself, like I'm using the time on earth to do something cool, do something that makes my actual being grow and different, and just grow into something beautiful, into something real, like by developing my mind, by developing my body and my skills, into something that I can carry with me wherever I go. It's not a flute, it's not something small, but something that also has a presence and has power, and something that I admire. Like, I don't know how long ago I started admiring cellists. They were very mysterious to me, and I always played violin for some reason, because I was like a redneck and I thought fiddles were cool. But then I got more sophisticated, and now I love cello. I love Yo-Yo Ma. I love Bach, and one of the reasons that I kind of wanted to make this video, if anybody watches it, is just because there is a crisis of content. Like, what is the purpose of content? Like, for me, I don't like commercials. I don't like people selling things to me. I just want to share my life. I just want to be part of the world. I'm stuck here in this house every day, and I'm glad to play the cello, but I'm also a very social person, but I often can't be social. I don't ever go out. And I'm not married. I don't have kids. I have a dog. I don't normally like to be in Florida in the summertime. I would rather be in my van up in some kind of mountains and playing music, like playing my ukulele in the desert and sharing my life that way. You know, it's just going back to that sharing thing. I think everyone should be able to share their life with someone, with a community. And by sharing, it could mean talking, it could mean talking about their day. And that brings me to this heading of attention versus intention. I think that as our attention spans kind of get outsourced and get shorter, attention span get weaker, we're also giving up our intention. And intention is just like your willpower, your ability to come up with an idea inside yourself and bring it to the outside into your real world. And so that's kind of my focus today. That's what it's been. I noticed I was getting depressed over the last year, and my videos were actually a way for me to look back and say, wow, I used to be so creative a year ago, you know, like the summer of 2025 or whatever. And just realizing I have changed. You know, a lot of things in my life have brought me down, and I'm not, you know, I don't have as much inspiration. I don't have as much intention, is more of what I was thinking about, is I'm just not doing anything cool anymore. I'm not whimsical. I'm not having fun. I'm not being fun. But I'm really trying to hold on to the hope that it's just a phase and it's a lesson. It's a life lesson where I'm letting go of a few things that might be childish and unproductive, and just processing them, giving them time to fully process and think about, what do I really want to stand on? What's my foundation going to be on? Because it feels foundational, like a foundational crisis. And, you know, posting stuff on YouTube now, I get 0 views now with my shorts on YouTube. I get pretty fair views on Instagram and Facebook for me, which is for now fine. I'm glad. But what I really feel like I want to focus on is just being myself, which is what I've always used to do, and not be ashamed of being boring, basically. And I enjoy when other people are just themselves, because that's what I have always used the internet for. I've been on the internet since the 80s, late 80s, like 88. And for me, I didn't go on the internet trying to buy anything. I was there to spend time with people, for community, and with musicians early on, just talk to people, share, and I loved that. Well, the internet was a lot different, and then it changed quickly as well. And file sharing, you know, you could share your music with people, and it was illegal. And then we had this thing where we had all these musicians that could perform live together online, basically. And this was early 2000s, and that went away, and it was interesting. But for me, the important thing is how we interact socially, and how the internet is taking away our attention from each other and putting our attention on basically content without having any concern about how that content fits into our relationships with each other. And to me, you could just watch TV. Like, we had cable TV, right? That's just, you're just watching TV. There's no community there at all. And to me, that's what we're getting back to. Just the internet is just becoming cable TV, right? And I definitely don't want that. I want community. And I really feel like the way things are going, the communities are eroding, and we're not allowed to have communities in a way. And it's not just the platform's fault, it's our fault. The way we're behaving and voting with our attention, like they used to say, vote with your dollar. Whatever you support with your money becomes strong. Whatever we give our attention to becomes strong. And that's why for the last few years, I love following people who are just not hyped up at all, who are unpolished and just whatever, sharing their actual life. Weird that we had this thing called The Real World on MTV. That was the beginning of something that was incredibly fake. It was just boiled down drama, staged drama, which is how is that real, right? They put a bunch of people in a house, so they're just strangers and they're roommates, and they watch them like a bunch of rats in a laboratory setting to see how they act together. And, they edit it and they do different things to make it interesting. But that was our version in this modern society, starting in whenever that started, probably the 90s. That was our version of the answer to just sitting back and watching TV. Okay, now we're going to watch people interacting without it being a show. There's just people in their real lives. Of course, it wasn't real life. And then we had, very interestingly, not to get off on a weird thing, but like the Ozzy Osbourne and his family doing a show together. To me, that was a spinoff of something like The Real World, where it's a real family and a crew comes in and they're videotaping everything and soft producing it and things like that. It's just interesting to think about that little point, how reality is supposed to be interesting for us. I don't know, just for me, like I said, I don't get out much. Even if I could, I probably wouldn't, because to me, it's like, where are you going to go? What are you going to do? You're going to go to a bar? That's not about being social. That's about, you have to go and you have to spend money, and it's not very comfortable. And it's not a controlled environment where you're going to know what to expect necessarily and be able to make something good out of it. And usually there's TVs with just distractions on. It's very shallow and you can't get deep. Or you're going to go to a library. Well, you can't even talk at a library. It's nice and quiet, but you would be exploiting it if you were going in there talking. And you're going to go maybe outside to a park. Well, sometimes if the weather's nice, but it's usually just not nice enough to go out to a park, and then you just don't have anything to sit on. It's like you're sitting on the ground. You got all these issues. You have to walk a long distance from your car. You might as well just go camping sometimes, or why are you gonna leave the house? So it's like, well, maybe have friends over, which I have had, and that's been very nice to do. I like that. It's better to get together at least a little bit than not at all. I'm a musician. I should start a band, right? But it's like, it takes a long time to start anything. Like if you're going to be a music teacher or you're going to start a band, it takes several months to get momentum going. And I don't think I want to live here in Florida, for one thing. I don't want to necessarily live in the southeast at all because I don't like it. And I don't want to invest in something that I'm just going to have to uproot again, which is what my life has always been, is uprooting every 6 months and having to move ever since I was a little kid. So instead of trying to build community in person, I was trying to do the internet because I felt like it was something I could take with me, just like I can take my music with me, take this cello with me, and just go play music in public, which is what I've been doing for the last few years, is busking, traveling around and just playing music in public, which I think is great, and I think I'll do more of that. It's really nice to do that. You meet people and you play when the weather is nice, and all that stuff. So yeah, I just figured, I might as well just be myself and share that on here, like really be myself. And maybe as I make these videos, I'll discover more about what that means.